Gentlemen, if you're past 50, there's a part of your body quietly shaping your energy, your sleep, and even your confidence, and you probably don't give it much thought. I'm talking about your prostate. This small gland, tucked below your bladder, can slowly become irritated and enlarged without you noticing at first. Then one day, the signs creep in. That weak stream, those constant bathroom trips, the restless nights. Here's the truth. These aren't just normal parts of aging. They're early warning signs that your prostate is under stress. And most men only pay attention when the problem has already stolen their peace of mind. I'm Dr. Katherine Rocker, a men's health specialist with over 20 years of experience helping seniors regain control of their vitality. Every week in my clinic, I see men who've been told it's just your age. But in reality, their daily choices, what they eat, how they sleep, even how they handle stress, are fueling inflammation that damages the prostate. The encouraging news is this: you can turn it around. Today, I'll walk you through 5 hidden habits that quietly accelerate prostate damage, the red flag symptoms you should never ignore, and the small, powerful changes that can calm inflammation and restore comfort. Before we dive in, let me ask you for a quick favor. If you've ever struggled with nighttime urination or that nagging urgency, type yes in the comments below. It helps me know these topics matter to you, and it also shows other men they're not alone. And if you want practical, science-backed strategies to age with strength, subscribe and tap the bell. I share new insights every week that can make a real difference. Now, let's begin by understanding what the prostate actually does and why it plays such a crucial role in your health. Stress, the hidden trigger. When men think about prostate problems, they often blame age or maybe their diet. What they rarely realize is that stress, the kind that lingers quietly in the background, can be one of the strongest drivers of prostate inflammation. Stress isn't just in your head. It leaves fingerprints all over your body. When you live with constant pressure, your brain signals your adrenal glands to pump out cortisol, the stress hormone. That's useful in short bursts. But when cortisol stays high for weeks or months, it throws off your hormone balance. Testosterone dips lower, estrogen and other growth-promoting hormones rise higher, and the prostate swells under the influence. At the same time, stress stirs up the immune system, releasing inflammatory chemicals that irritate the prostate lining. These molecules, tiny messengers like interleukins and tumor necrosis factors, create a simmering fire inside the gland. Add in tight pelvic muscles, which often stay clenched when stress builds. And the result is more pressure on your urinary tract, making it harder to fully empty your bladder. I've seen this firsthand. One patient, a retired police officer, came to me exhausted from waking up 5 or 6 times a night. He thought his prostate was beyond help. But when we addressed his stress, teaching him deep breathing before bed, getting him walking daily, and encouraging him to reconnect with friends, his symptoms eased dramatically. Within weeks, he was sleeping almost through the night again. The good news is, you don't need fancy equipment to lower stress. Start small. Practice slow, deep breathing when tension rises. Set aside 10 minutes in the evening for quiet reflection or guided meditation. Even light exercise like walking or stretching helps lower cortisol and keeps pelvic muscles relaxed. And never underestimate the power of laughter and conversation. Staying connected reduces stress hormones more effectively than most men realize. Taming stress won't cure prostate problems overnight, but it lays the foundation for everything else. And as you'll see, stress often works hand in hand with another hidden driver that makes prostate issues much worse: chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation, the fire that fuels BPH. Most men think of inflammation only when they sprain an ankle or fight off a cold. But the prostate can simmer with low-grade inflammation for years, and that slow burn is often the real driver of enlargement and discomfort. Here's how it works. When the prostate is irritated, the immune system rushes in with chemical messengers to protect the tissue. But instead of helping, These messengers disturb the normal balance of hormones inside the gland. Testosterone signals weaken, while growth-promoting signals get louder. The result is cell overgrowth, what doctors call benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH. That's not all. Inflammation also makes the nerves inside the prostate hypersensitive. What would normally feel like a mild fullness becomes urgency, pressure, or even pain. Men often describe it as a nagging discomfort that never really goes away. Over time, this constant irritation weakens the tissue barrier that normally shields the prostate from bacteria and toxins. Once that barrier is compromised, infections and further inflammation slip in more easily. I remember one patient, a 68-year-old retiree, who brushed off his mild urinary symptoms for years. He figured they were just a nuisance of aging. Then one night, he suddenly couldn't urinate at all. It was inflammation pushing his prostate to the point of complete blockage, and it landed him in the emergency room. The lesson here is simple. Ignoring inflammation is like ignoring a fire alarm. The longer it burns, the more damage it causes. Not just to your prostate, but also to your bladder, kidneys, and overall energy. So what can you do? First, move your body. Even moderate exercise cuts down inflammatory signals and improves circulation. Second, eat with purpose. Foods rich in antioxidants like tomatoes, berries, and leafy greens calm inflammation from the inside out. Third, never skip regular checkups. Simple blood work and exams can catch rising inflammation before it leads to serious complications. By reducing this hidden fire, you give your prostate room to recover and function more normally. But inflammation isn't the only hidden thief of prostate health. Another silent culprit is stealing your rest at night, and it may be sabotaging your prostate more than you realize. Poor sleep, the prostate's silent enemy. If you're waking up several times a night to urinate, you probably think it's only your prostate causing the problem. But here's the twist. Your sleep habits may be quietly fueling prostate inflammation in the first place. Poor sleep sets off a chain reaction inside the body. When you cut your rest short, stress hormones like cortisol remain elevated, keeping your system in a constant state of tension. At the same time, testosterone production drops, and that's critical because testosterone helps protect prostate tissue. Add to that a dip in melatonin, the hormone that governs sleep, and also acts as a natural anti-inflammatory. And the result is a perfect storm that irritates and enlarges the prostate. Researchers have measured this connection. Men who routinely sleep less than 7 hours face dramatically higher rates of benign prostatic hyperplasia, and their urinary symptoms tend to be more severe. One study even found that poor sleep increased the risk of BPH by nearly double compared to men who got consistent, restful nights. I think back to a retired veteran who came to see me. He thought his bladder was the only culprit behind his nighttime awakenings. But when we improved his sleep hygiene, setting a regular bedtime, cutting caffeine after lunch, and keeping his room cool and dark, his symptoms eased. Within weeks, he was down from 5 nighttime trips to just 1. So what practical steps can you take? Start with a set bedtime and wake time, even on weekends. Keep your bedroom environment quiet, dark, and cool. Limit fluids in the last couple of hours before bed. And if you wake frequently, try double voiding, urinating twice before you turn in to ensure your bladder is as empty as possible. And remember, exercise during the day improves sleep quality at night, but avoid vigorous workouts too close to bedtime. When you restore healthy sleep, you don't just feel more rested, you give your prostate a real chance to heal. But rest alone isn't enough. What you put on your plate every day can either calm or inflame your prostate. And for many men, diet is the hidden saboteur. Diet, foods, quietly enlarging your prostate. For many men, what ends up on the dinner plate has more impact on the prostate than they realize. Certain foods, especially the ones most common in the average American diet, act like fuel for inflammation, keeping the glands swollen and irritated. Let's start with red and processed meats. Steaks, burgers, bacon, and deli slices aren't just heavy meals. They deliver compounds that stress prostate cells. Cooking these meats at high heat creates harmful byproducts that accumulate inside the gland. On top of that, the saturated fat found in these foods stirs up inflammatory signals and disturbs the delicate hormone balance that keeps the prostate in check. Dairy is another quiet offender. Whole milk, cheese, and butter may seem harmless, but the excess calcium and fat they contain can interfere with vitamin D's protective role. Studies suggest that men who consume a lot of dairy face a noticeably higher risk of prostate enlargement and even cancer. And then there's sugar. Sweetened drinks, pastries, and processed snacks all push blood sugar levels up. Over time, this leads to insulin resistance, a state that encourages more inflammation throughout the body, including the prostate. Even artificial sweeteners, marketed as the safe alternative, may disrupt hormones in ways that worsen urinary symptoms. I worked with a man who loved his daily bacon and eggs breakfast, washed down with a soda. He struggled with urgency and interrupted sleep for years. When he swapped his processed meats for salmon and added vegetables to his meals, the difference was striking. Within a few months, his stream improved, and his nightly bathroom trips were cut in half. So what should you eat? Lean proteins like fish or plant-based sources, plenty of colorful vegetables, and healthy fats like olive oil and nuts. Tomatoes, in particular, are rich in lycopene, a powerful antioxidant shown to support prostate health. Green tea, berries, and pumpkin seeds also carry compounds that calm inflammation naturally. A Mediterranean-style diet, rich in vegetables, olive oil, and fish, has consistently been linked to lower prostate risk. Every bite you take is either feeding inflammation or fighting it. Choosing wisely each day creates a steady defense for your prostate. But food is only one piece of the puzzle. Carrying excess weight and even your exposure to everyday chemicals can quietly magnify the problem. That's our next stop. Excess weight and environmental toxins. The double threat. If you carry extra belly fat, your prostate feels it every single day. Unlike the fat under your skin, belly fat is biologically active. It constantly releases inflammatory chemicals into your bloodstream. These signals act like a slow drip of irritation, keeping your prostate on edge. On top of that, excess fat lowers testosterone while raising estrogen and insulin, a hormone cocktail that encourages the gland to grow larger. There's also a mechanical factor. A heavy midsection presses down on the bladder and prostate, reducing blood flow and trapping fluid in the area. That congestion worsens urgency, weak stream, and nighttime trips to the bathroom. Research shows that men with obesity face nearly 4 times the risk of developing severe prostate enlargement compared to men with a healthy weight. But weight isn't the only invisible threat. Every day, chemicals from plastics, cleaning products, and even tap water enter your body. Many of these substances, like BPA and phthalates, mimic or block hormones. They confuse your endocrine system, disrupt testosterone signals, and quietly fan the flames of prostate inflammation. Studies have even linked higher blood levels of these chemicals to increased risks of prostate irritation and cancer. I once treated a man who worked around pesticides for decades. Despite eating fairly well, he battled stubborn prostate swelling. When he started filtering his water, switching to glass containers, and reducing exposure to household chemicals, his symptoms finally began to ease. Here's what you can do. Keep your waist under 40 inches, aim for a healthy body mass index, and stay active with daily movement. Choose fresh foods over processed ones, store meals in glass or stainless steel, and avoid microwaving and plastic. Filter your drinking water and read labels on soaps and cleaners, steering clear of harsh chemicals whenever possible. These small shifts lighten the toxic burden on your body and take pressure off your prostate. And when combined with stress control, quality sleep, and better nutrition, the results are even stronger. That's the synergy we'll explore next. Gentlemen, your prostate doesn't control your future. You do. I've seen men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s turn things around by making small but consistent changes. A little less stress, a little better sleep, smarter food choices, more movement, fewer toxins. None of these steps require a prescription, yet together they can transform how you feel day and night. The real danger isn't the prostate itself. It's ignoring the early signs. Frequent urination, urgency, weak flow. These are not just aging. They're your body's way of asking for help. And the sooner you respond, the easier it is to reverse the damage. So start today. Don't wait for the emergency room visit or the sleepless nights that drain your energy. Take one step, whether that's a healthier meal, a daily walk, or scheduling the checkup you've been putting off. Your future self will thank you. If this video resonated with you, here's what I'd like you to do. First, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss these weekly health insights. Second, type yes in the comments if you're ready to take action for your prostate health. And third, share this video with a friend. You could save him years of frustration and discomfort. You deserve strength, confidence, and peace of mind at every stage of life. Don't settle for less. Start now and reclaim the comfort and control that belong to you.